Hey VC, JG Yokohama, Jeff here, trying something different today. Trying to use the cell phone. I think the picture's coming out a little better than my laptop. Laptop's easier to use for YouTube, but I think the picture tends to be a little grainy. I don't know, the audio might be better on my laptop, we'll see. But yeah, the picture definitely looks better on here, a little less grainy. So let's give it a try. This is actually attempt number 2 because the phone crashed about 15-20 minutes in. Yay. Well, yeah, let's get going. So, rocking the Dots and Loop t-shirts. So, thank you, Dan, for that. I guess he's trying to do some regular contests. So, maybe a few weeks ago. Man, I don't even know. I'm starting to lose track of time with everything going on. My schedule, I don't know. I've been working consistently, but it's like, my schedule's all wonky now. So it was an evenings shift. I was doing Sunday through Wednesdays, and then it was Sundays through Tuesdays, and then shifting the time around, and then they switched me to Wednesday or sometimes Thursday to Saturday. Yeah, my schedule's all messed up. So I don't even know what time it is, and I was switching from nights to mornings and everything. I was like, ugh. Anyway, so let's get this done. It's a weekly stack, so yeah. So Dan, I guess he's got these t-shirts for sale now. So if he hasn't announced it already, it will be announced soon, I guess. So thank you, Dan. I forget. Yeah, was it Threadless? I think he did. So it was actually a really nice shirt. So yeah, fits really comfortably, good quality from what I can see. Haven't washed it yet though, but yeah, go get one. It's awesome. It's got his logo and everything. Well, let's get going. A weekly stack. 16? I don't know. Almost to 100 subs too, which is kind of cool. Might have to do a contest. So, a little bit smaller stack than usual, but maybe we'll spend more time with talking about them. So, here, one of my favorite jazz albums. So, this is, let's see if I can, where's the logo? Well, sort of. Yeah, it's right there. Not the best cover, but yeah, Joe Henderson and Elements. So he's got 4 tracks of the 4 elements: fire, air on the first side, water, and earth on the other. So featuring 2 of my favorite jazz musicians, Alice Coltrane on piano, harp, tambura, and harmonium, and Charlie Hayden, of course, on bass, Joe Henderson on sax. Also got Michael White on violin, and Kenneth Nash on some congas and other percussion. So yeah, amazing, kind of spiritual, jazzy, free jazzy, whatnot. I hope you're not picking up the outside stereo. Wonderful. But yeah, it's a little glary. But this is a reissue. Came out, I don't know, 5 years ago or so. But I'm pretty sure you can still get them. Awesome, really nice sounding recording too. Next up, another one I picked up a little while ago. Had this sent from France. I believe there's a US copy too, but I'm not positive. I'm going to mess up his name. Jacques Dutronc, I believe. I think this was his second album. Hippie Hippie Hurrah, last track on side A. I believe it was covered by somebody. I want to say it was the Black Lips. I'm pretty sure. But yes, so that was the only song on here I was really familiar with. But yeah, excellent album. He's getting a little bit into the psych realm. I think I kind of like his first album a little bit more, so I might have to pick that up. But yeah, I really wanted that track, Hippie Hippie Hurrah, the original. But yeah, French. I don't know. I don't think he does it. I would say, yeah, I don't know. Pop star. Because that's how I'd say it. But excellent stuff. Good. Next up, this is something I picked up. I found used a few years ago. Jeff the Brotherhood, Hypnotic Nights. I don't remember where exactly this falls into their discography. I believe it's around their 3rd album. But Australian, kind of garage revival, fuzzed out, whatever band, rock. But it's good stuff. Gatefold. So I believe this particular version, so Warner Brothers. So I think this particular version was supposed to have come with like a CD. Yeah, so that's missing from my copy, but yeah, it has some inserts, and I don't know if it was supposed to come with this, but it did. It has like a, I don't think that's an actual signature. I think it's just a photograph of their signature. But it has the publicity photo. So what year was this? 2012. Okay. But yeah, excellent, excellent. I think it was at Heavy Days. It's the one that has like it's white with all the typography. I think that one's probably their best, but this is one of my favorites. Worth checking out if you don't know them. Jeff the Brotherhood. Next up, there's a bargain find from Japan. I think I paid $1 for this. Vinyl's near mint, which is pretty typical in Japan. But Fishbone, In Your Face. It's kind of hard to read there, but yeah, Fishbone, one word, In Your Face. These guys are moderately big in the like maybe late 80s, early 90s. I want to say this is their probably their first album. Correct me if I'm wrong. Who's it? Vernon Reid and company. Yeah, they were kind of big when like Red Hot Chili Peppers and Jane's Addiction and all that. They kind of fall into that wheelhouse. But yeah, really good album actually. I don't think this one didn't have any major hits on it. I think the album that came out after this did. But yeah, I'm pretty sure you can still find this in bargain bins elsewhere. But yeah, I guess in Japan they weren't popular, so it actually wasn't even in the bargain. There's just new arrivals for $1. I was like, yeah, I'll buy that for $1. Glad I did. It's a really good album. So Fishbone, In Your Head. There you go. There you go. In your face, not your head. In your face. Next one. This is actually another bargain bin. This was an actual bargain bin in Japan. So one of the major record stores there was a Disc Union. They usually announce when they get like too many records. They announce like these like $1, $2 bin specials on Instagram, and you go out and you just pick. I think they set a limit, but I didn't realize that. I guess I actually bought a pretty decent stack, and they didn't say anything. I think they have like a 10 disc limit. I went pretty late in the day too, so they probably didn't care at that point. But even late in the day, I found some real treasures. This one is Tomita's Planets, The Planets. So it's got the 8 planets. Curiously, he didn't include Pluto, probably more for time. But what this is, Tomita, Isao Tomita. You won't just buy Tomita most of the time, I believe. He was a kind of electronic synth guy in the 70s. So this one, he was covering Holst, The Planets, which was the composer that John Williams pretty much ripped off to do Star Wars. So if you know the Star Wars soundtrack, so if you know Star Wars, the planets will sound very familiar to you because he borrowed a lot of it. But apparently this was done on RCA, and RCA did not license his actual music. So from my understanding, this only got one pressing on vinyl, because I guess they had a cease and desist after this came out. So these can go for some bucks. Yeah, I paid like $1 or $2 for this, but I've run across these in the States for like 150. I don't know if they're worth that much, but they're pretty good. So basically it's like electronic versions of classical, whatever, keyboards, whatever. So it's pretty interesting, and this is actually a really nice one to check your Wi-Fi out on. It's got some interesting stereo separation and so on. So electronically created by Isao Tomita. Produced, arranged, programmed with synthesizers, performed, recorded, and mixed by the man himself. But yeah, I believe this did get a CD release, and this was featured in, I think, was it Black Mirror? So if you go back and watch some of the Black Mirror episodes that are on, was it Netflix? Yeah, this was featured in one of them. But yeah, it's pretty cool. So worth checking out. But yeah, I wouldn't pay 150 or whatever for it. But yeah, if you can find this on the cheap, definitely worth it. Tomita's The Planets. Yeah, it's another bargain bin one from locally. Paid probably 50 cents on this. You can get these all day in, day out bargain bins. Sergio Mendes and Brazil 66 Look Around. I think all or most of this is covers, so yeah, just pop music, whatever. I think you're, what's that guy? Whipped Cream, Other Delight. It falls into that wheelhouse of a typical 60s pop music. More instrumental, but I think there was some vocal on here. I listened to this last weekend. Now I'm forgetting. But yeah, it does have a copy of With a Little Help from My Friends and a bunch of lesser known stuff. A little Latin flavor, but yeah, good stuff. If you see it, they're good. I'd pick up more for a bargain. Next one is a little bit of a disappointment. Not that the album itself was bad, but it was an eBay purchase. Cyndi Lauper, I believe this was her first album. Pretty sure it was. So, what's it called? She's So Unusual. I'm just kind of curious because the track it came from was He's So Unusual, but yeah. Yeah, so this was an eBay purchase. I think I paid around $10, but yeah, I'm kind of bummed out because the seller said it was near mint. Now it's got tons of little scratches. Like, they're not super visible, but I saw it as soon as I pulled it out. And I was like, oh, it's like you can't list that for near mint. It's like the guy was established enough. I thought he would have picked up on that, but he was kind of nice about it. Gave me a few dollars back, but yeah, I would have. It wasn't worth sending back because like I'm not eating that postage, man, for that. But it's listenable. But yeah, definitely need to get an updated copy down the road. So this is the one. It's got it opens up with Money Changes Everything, which is never her best track. Which is kind of an interesting first choice. Girls Want to Have Fun. First side ends with Time After Time, which was pretty big. And then my personal favorite on the second side was All Through the Night. It's probably my favorite one. And then She Bop's pretty good. Opens up the second side. And I had a few other hits on it, but chock full of hits. Yeah, I'll check the bargain bins. I'm sure I'll find an upgrade copy, and this will probably go to my daughter or something, or spare one for the family room or something. But yeah, love that album. It's definitely a childhood thing. It was on the radio a lot when I was a kid, and just memories of me. It's a lot of sentimental stuff, I guess. Recently, Fishbone too. Yeah, Fishbone was a big one with my set of friends, and yeah, Cyndi Lauper when I was little, it was always on. You go to the pool, you always hear Cyndi Lauper. In the car, Cyndi Lauper. MTV, Cyndi Lauper. It's just I don't know. I'm pulling out a lot of the sentimental stuff with the whole COVID situation. So this one's a pick up from Japan. Toshko and her trio, her quartet. I'm not sure where this fits exactly in her discography, but it was very early. I'm not sure. This could have been her first album, but I think it was like her second or third. So that one actually was used on one of her other albums that came out about the same time. But yeah, this one she was the Toshko Akiyoshi. But yeah, Toshko's a pretty common Japanese name actually. But she's a pianist, jazz pianist, and she ended up going to the States in the late 50s to study jazz. She actually recorded with a lot of reasonably famous, if not famous jazz musicians of the time. So maybe she was a little bit of an oddity, I guess. And so yeah, people wanted to work with her, maybe. But yeah, she genuinely is talented, and she has some really good albums. I think in the late 60s, early 70s, then she started doing a lot more of her own compositions, and I thought she did a lot of her own compositions, even on this one, actually. But this is half original, half covers. And then she got more into like the big band and started experimenting with big band. Later, she married, is it Lou? I think it's Tekenbakken? I always mess his last name up. And then they were married, and they had a daughter who's now something of a pop star. And I forget her name, but she re-recorded Radiohead's "Creep" and does a really good version of it. But yeah, Toshko and her trio, her quartet, awesome artwork. Yeah, just awesome. It makes for really good kind of background music if you're just trying to do stuff around the house. You don't have to be. it's not challenging jazz, but it is pretty damn solid. So highly recommend her stuff if you see it. I think in the States it doesn't go for a lot. In Japan it demands a little bit more maybe. But yeah, I picked this up in Japan. A little easier to get there. But this is on Trio. It originally was on Storytime. Oops. Storytime. There you go. Storyville, not Storytime. Storytime. Were they the ones that made all those children LPs? I don't know. Here's another disappointment. Doors and 13. So this is I'm pretty sure. Yeah, it's the comp. I'm not sure if it was 100% re-release. I think it is. Yeah. But yeah, it's a little more deeper cuts on this. It does have some other hits like Light My Fire, People Are Strange. Yeah, what else was on here? Hello, I Love You. But it digs a little deeper into their discography. The only doors I have are comps. I don't know how that's worked out. Yeah, I paid. I don't know. I probably paid a little more up on this. This was from like the $2 pile, I think, at the local thrift. That thrift, I always find everything's always minty there. It's like I probably didn't look as closely as I should have on this, because the person whose collection I had assumed this came out of, because everything else I looked at that day was just minty. Yeah, this one was pretty abused. The first side, which is probably the one I glanced at the shop, it's fine. It's like somewhere in the VG Plus range, but I really should have looked at the B side. B side was pretty trashed. Yeah, I don't know if you can see that. That is scuffed. They used it as a coaster or plate or something, man. But it played through. But yeah, I'm not gonna throw that on my turntable again. Be worried about damaging my needle there. But yeah, cover is beautiful. So yeah, if I maybe I can Frankenstein it if I can find one with the destroyed cover on the cheap. I'll buy it. It's definitely one I'd want to keep in my collection if I can find a replacement album. Next, this is Drive Like Jehu. So on Cargo Records, this is a reissue I picked up a couple years ago. Headhunter. I'm not sure if the originals were on Cargo or Headhunter. I had this on. I must have had this on CD, or if I might have had this on vinyl and sold it. I can't remember now. But when I realized I didn't have it, or thought I might have sold it, I picked this up again. So this is. I don't know. Were they from? Maybe they're from Chicago. I can't remember. I think they're a Chicago band. But yeah. So California. Oh, it says California. Okay, so I was going to say Chicago or California because I know the bands they were all some of the members were involved with were California based. But they have the kind of that Chicago sounds like Big Black, I guess. So if you're into like Big Black and you're into it's kind of it's noise, math rock, whatever. If you're into Slint or it's kind of like Slint meets Big Black or something like that. I guess I don't know. Unwound. If that's in your wheelhouse, you probably like these guys. Pretty solid stuff. This I think is their first album, or it's one of their first couple albums, and then their self-title is quite good too. But I just don't have that. Maybe I'll pick it up if I ever see it used or something, or if I'm just feeling like more of this stuff. But recently, I just haven't been listening to this kind of thing as the style as much. I don't know. It's not something to relax to. Something to get excited about. But with this one, it's a 12-inch plus a 7 to get everything on there, because I guess it was probably recorded with a CD in mind. But yeah, it's white labels, and it comes with a 7-inch for the extra tracks. But yeah, at least stream it. It's pretty good. Drive Like Jehu, Yank Crime. Classic there, the genre. And last one from the week, I was watching some reaction videos or something late at night. And a guy was listening to Gordon Lightfoot, so I pulled this out. This is another bargain bin find, obviously a cutout, unfortunately. Curious, very best, but this must have been right before all his big hits, because none of the big hits are really on here other than Canadian Railroad Trilogy. There you go. So, Canadian singer-songwriter, immensely immensely talented. See this in bargains all the time, so I'm definitely going to pick up some more. But I don't have his biggest hits, which I think what was it? Now I'm pulling a blank. There was that one, is it the Ballad of, was it Edmund, whatever, the boat one about the boat getting lost, which is just incredible. And then, If I Could Turn Back Time, or something, it was something like that. But yeah, he had some real nice ballady kind of stuff. But yeah, I always like his stuff. So I'll pick up some more on vinyl when I see it, when I get out of this. It's not something I'm going to order on Discogs or something, because you definitely see this stuff around. So yeah, Gordon Lightfoot, awesome stuff for just chilling if you into that kind of singer-songwriter stuff. Well, that's all today. I'm going to sign off and get on with my day and refile those. A little shorter stack than usual. So, yep. Hang in there, guys. Have a good one.